That's a week from Sunday.
Great.
Are you going?
Yes.
But Shalom.
So fewer cars,
Yeah.
so she's right after that.
We can sit here this way.
There's a.
Did you do your sweater? That's beautiful.
I went to Stitch's,
Yeah, in January.
well, actually,
Just contacted, three places where we're on the water, I just contacted different dive shops.
so.
Just to get some
Oh,
information.
yeah.
I have the book.
You ready?
Oh, I'm ready to dive?
So,
No, I was in the water about 5 hours.
sweaters were there, so you can.
Oh, neat.
And I
What?
We have some help thing going on,
They
right?
had a,
So,
what do you call it?
Are you?
Hurricane. Yeah, it was operating.
All
4 weeks
They're
ago.
all ready to go.
Oh, I was, yeah, morning, I was, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
so I focused
She got me in the end of August, 4 weeks later, I worked out the other, I was good to go.
It's great.
Back to heavy weight lifting.
Yeah, I know, and now too, it's
So is that,
grabbing
do you
air
need
tunnels.
one piece or
It's like
just
2
one?
I'm gonna take one. Yeah, just one, I don't wanna go through this, I don't wanna go through the other side.
My dad had it done.
Yeah.
but they don't need that. It's right.
Yeah, he didn't tell me. I said, he didn't tell me it was miserable for the first month.
I saw them.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay.
It's always something, right? According to Gilda.
That's it.
Roger?
Always something.
There's always something, yeah. It's been a while. But we could have that
Oh,
one.
that one, oh.
Yeah, I'll
Is
give
that
you.
yours?
No, today it was, the last couple of days we've been in a winter fest. So I dress upstairs as an elf. I got a whole elf costume, and my gear.
Yeah.
We just
So that was my
entertain
mission.
people.
Oh,
So now it's an hour in the water. Oh, yeah.
Got any photographs of that right now?
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to see that.
Yep, I was in the paper for, in the London paper, made the front page back in the.
Shabbat shalom. I hate to stop your wonderful conversation. Good Shabbos, Rakim Habaim, welcome. My mic is very loud. Okay. Let's start on page 643. Hava Nashira.
Very often ends, so I hope this is not too confusing.
Hava Nashira. Shir hallelujah. Shir hallelujah. Hava Nashira. Shir hallelujah. Shir hallelujah. Hava Nashira. Shir hallelujah. Shir hallelujah. Shir hallelujah, shir hallelujah, Hava Nashira, shir hallelujah, shir hallelujah, Hava Nashira, shir hallelujah, shir hallelujah. everybody join me in a nice deep Shabbat breath in and out. Hopefully, because of the holiday season, we're all just a little more relaxed, although I know it certainly can become sometimes even crazier during this time of year. But it's nice to allow Shabbat to work its magic as well.
Oh
And to give us that wonderful respite and break and chance to just relax. And in this season of light, even though our festival of lights has already come to an end, Shabbat is our weekly festival of lights, if you will. And so we're on page 120. And by the way, if you have a book that has 2 page numbers in every corner, please, of course, follow the one in the brackets. And I would love to invite the accountants up to help us light and bless our Shabbat candles. Come on up, Trip. Wow. Very impressive, lady. Trip and Lindsay, you're coming up too. So the early part of our service is called Kabbalat Shabbat, which literally means receiving Shabbat, and actually was developed by the Kabbalists, by the mystics of the 15th, 16th centuries, or maybe 16th and 17th centuries. And Lecha Dodi, on page 138, is a big part of that, receiving Shabbat as if Shabbat is an actual presence coming to visit us here, likened to a bride. And so we sing, of course, stanzas 1, 2, 5, and 9. And for 9, we always stand up like we're at a wedding, welcoming the bride down the aisle to the wedding. Shabbat, While we remain standing, please take a moment to wish a Shabbat Shalom to the people near you. Introduce yourselves if you don't know them.
I love your necklace. I may take it from you tonight. I do. It's cute, yes.
And let's turn to page 144. And we're going to stay standing just a little longer with the Chatzi Kaddish. Amen. We read together on the top of 149. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv, aravim. And together on the top of 151. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Natan
Kedoshim Elohechem, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotziti etchem, me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem Elohim, Ani Adonai Elohechem. And we read responsively, starting in the middle of page 157. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Yabba, bim, bim, ba, yabba, ba, bim, ba, yabba, ba, bim, bim, ba, yabba, ba, bim, ba, ay, 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 yabba, ba, bim, ba, ay, 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 yabba, ba, bim, ba, mi, antocha, bailim, Adonai, mi, antocha, ledar, bakodesh, norati, loro, sekele, norati, loro, sekele, yabba, ba, bim, bim, ba, yabba, ba, bim, ba, yabba, ba, bim, bim, ba, yabba, ba, bim, ba, ay, 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 yabba, ba, bim, ba, ay, 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 yabba, ba, bim, ba, ma'alechutecha, ra'u b'amlecha, bo'okei hayam, livnei Moshe Miriam, ze'eli, anu ve'anu, Adonai imloch le'olam va'aleh, yabba, ba, bim, bim, ba, yabba, ba, bim, ba, yabba, ba, bim, bim, ba, yabba, ba, bim, ba, ay, 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 yabba, ba, bim, ba, ay, 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 yabba, ba, bim, ba. Page 161. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. V'shamru, v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ביני ובין We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. Page 164, please rise.
Adonai, Adonai, Sevatai Tivta, Uviyahi, Tehilatecha, Adonai, Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu, Ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor HaNorah, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, Ve'monei Ha'ol, V'zocher Chazdei Avot V'imahot, U'mevi'u L'ivnei Bneihem, Le'man Shelo Be'ahava, Ve'le'ozer Moshiach U'magei, Baruch atah Adonai, Magei Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei Hakol Atarav Le'oshia, Ma'ashiva Ruach U'mori HaKashem, Mechakel Hayim B'chesed, Mechayei Hakol B'rachamim Rabim, Zomer Noflim Ve'ofei Cholim, U'matir Asurim, U'mekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Gevurot, U'midon Elah, Melech Memit U'mechayeh, U'matzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah l'chayot ha'kol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh ha'kol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kedoshim b'kol yom ya'alu ha'selah, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
We continue silently through page 180. You may be seated when you've completed your prayer. having a wonderful December holiday season. Looking forward to the start of a new year. I was listening to the beginning of On the Media for this week, and they were talking about how a year is a set period of time, and yet we ascribe so much meaning to a year and the change of the year. We certainly do in Judaism with the Hebrew year, but even with the secular New Year, the idea that a whole year has gone by. Oh, if good things happened in 2017, yay! But if not good things happened, well, hey, it's going to be a new year, And so I hope we're all, for all kinds of reasons, looking forward to 2018. And I wish you all a happy and good and healthy 2018. And thanks for helping us finish off 2017 just right. It's really wonderful. For those who are also praying for a good and healthy 2018, we send our prayers of healing. Tonight we are especially sending prayers for a refuah shalema, a complete recovery to Reagan Konecki, John D. Nicola, Nancy Schwab, Sam Rosenblum, Miriam Swidler, David Clark, Simon Alexander Petty, Larry Mancini, Linda Sherman, Charles Savitt, Dahlia Balipa Vashena, Jimmy Imbrogno, Debbie Clymer, Rita Fink, Barbara Spargo, and Revelyn Klein-Hickey. Who else are you thinking about tonight and sending your own healing prayers to? Yishaberach Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov, v'Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, v'Rachel, v'Yivarech, v'Yirapeh, et Kol Kolima Ela. May the one who blessed all of our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel, bless and heal all those who are ill. We pray, God, that they return to us soon with a healing of mind and body and spirit. Baruch atah Adonai rofeh cholim. We praise you, God, who cares for the sick. And let us say together. Amen. And let's sing together on page 371. For those who have experienced these wonderful miracles. And so God, we praise you, who makes good things happen in the world around us. And let's say together, Amen. And of course we have simchas, we have happy occasions to celebrate as well, thank God. Any significant birthdays, anniversaries, exciting things going on in your lives?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
my anniversary today.
Oh, what, wait, today?
Yeah.
Did you see that? They went rogue and shouted out. That's amazing.
Yeah, 1 year.
1 year? birthday was March 23rd. But God bless. Very long time. So. Mazel tov. That's wonderful. Many more in good health and joy, and looking forward to celebrating 50. It's incredible. Mazel tov. What were you going to say?
I was going to say that my sister's daughter had a baby.
Oh, Mazel tov. So, what's the baby's name?
Annika Eliza Shenger.
Beautiful name. Oh, Mazel tov to the whole family. Lots of good wishes. Other exciting things, birthdays, anniversaries, good things?
My daughter's on the holiday period.
That's
She wants to go to work. She wants to repaint her bedroom, and she's repainting her bedroom.
nice.
I'm happy.
Great. What color? It's going to what?
From a very deep blue.
Oh, okay.
It's good.
Kind of like a tournament.
Yeah. But it'll come out stripes, I'm sure.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. But that's wonderful, Mazel tov. I don't know if I got to announce my sister had her baby. My sister had a little girl. His name is Maya Abigail. And she's just beautiful. And Spencer's working on learning how to say Maya. And it's just terrific. So my parents are now Nani and Papa to 4 grandkids, which is really exciting. So, yeah. Any other symbols? No? All right. So, we're all going to study a little Talmud tonight together. Okay? Talmud is in quotes. Okay? This is a tractate of Talmud called Masechet Chopsticks.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Written by Rabbi Rick Brody and Rabbi Rachel Kobrin. We're going to learn a little Talmud through this because it actually is very well written. But it discusses, it's a lost Talmudic tractate which has been discovered that answers age-old rabbinic questions about the appropriate way for Jews to fully accomplish the obligations associated with eating Chinese food on December 24th and 25th.
Yes.
How many of you had your obligatory Chinese food on December 24th and 25th? Excellent. And that would be another lost part, I would imagine, of the tractate. So please take one and pass. Take one and pass them around. In order to really fully enjoy this, and I'm going to grab a chair and just kind of sit with you all, you do actually get to learn a little bit about how Talmud works. We're not going to read the whole thing, but we're going to enjoy it together in honor of the holiday season. What is the Talmud? For those of you who took my Intro to Talmud class, can anybody share a little bit about what Talmud is? All right, so I'll give you the basics, just to review. You'll remember that the Torah can be a little vague and confusing about how to go about following Jewish law, okay? And so after hundreds and hundreds of years of trying to understand it and interpret it and make it livable, an oral tradition that had been created was finally written down around the year 200 CE. And that was called the Mishnah, okay? And the Mishnah was a really great attempt at making law livable, right, and followable, observable. And then another few hundred years of interpretations and understanding and expansion on the Mishnah is called Gemara. And Gemara was set down with the Mishnah. Mishnah plus Gemara equals Talmud, and that was codified and written down around the year 500 CE. Okay? So what this parody of Talmud does is it uses the same format of quoting a Mishnah, which would have presumably been an earlier text, and then expanding on it and trying to understand it further with a Gemara. Okay? And so again, Talmud is Mishnah plus Gemara. Okay? There's also going to be a lot of Aramaic terms used in this. These are really Talmudic nerds, which is wonderful, in their writing here. and they translate them all. So you get to learn a Bissell Talmud in enjoying Masechet chopsticks. Okay? Jackie, is there one over there for you? From Masechet chopsticks. There's another.
Make sure.
Okay, all right. We're studying about the Jewish laws to eat Chinese food on December 24th or 25th. Okay, excellent. So can somebody please read, and you can go slowly and carefully on the Aramaic if you want, Mishnah 1 before we get to the Gemara. Somebody want to read it out loud?
I'll start the ball rolling.
Thank you, Morad David.
Our rabbis ask, when does one begin the festive meal of chopsticks? Beit Shammai Omrim, the school of Shammai, say, on the 24th day of the month of December, because one should larutz la'asot mitzvah, run to perform a holy act. Beit Hillel Omrim, the school of Hillel, say, through the entirety of the night of the 24th and the day of the 25th is mutar, permitted. But the mehadrim, those who wish to embellish their observance, wait until the final hours of the 25th. Ka'az min hakodesh, v'lo l'redim, ascend in holiness and do not descend. Yesh omrim, and there are those who say, to extend the simcha, the joyous occasion.
Okay, so how is that so far?
That's good.
It's good. How would you put it into your own words, Alan? What do you think
How
about
to put that?
Yeah.
Eat when you want to eat.
Okay, so it's interesting you say that, because what this is capturing of actual Talmud is the Talmud, even in trying to make law observable, never gives you one answer, right? And Beit Hillel and Beit Shammai are two real schools that debate each other all the time in the Talmud. We're going to get some other very funny names throughout this. That you'll see Rabbi Sheshwan in a little bit in the next section. But Hillel and Shammai are two true schools of thought, or schools of learning in the Talmud. So when do you start observing the festive meal of chopsticks? You can use the night of the 24th all the way through the 25th. Okay, so now, yes?
So is this Greenwich Mean Time, midnight to midnight 24th?
Well, that's true, right? According to who's...
2 stars visible in the evening sky.
Good, you're a good Talmudic scholar.
So does that mean you can technically start on the evening of the 23rd? After sunset?
Right,
When is Erev?
Yeah.
Oh, right?
In the southern hemisphere, it starts at midnight, what do you do?
What if you're in the southern hemisphere? What if you're at the North Pole and it's just light the whole time and you can't use stars at all?
This would preclude Santa from going anywhere.
That's true.
Until at least April.
You are all brilliant scholars. Yes, Steve.
No.
You're scoffing at the whole thing.
No, I'm not. I'm saying what you said, that you said if you're in the North Pole, it's day. No, it's nighttime.
Nighttime.
Right.
Oh, well, so then where am I thinking of?
South Pole.
What about South Pole? Well, what about, so when is Alaska like 6 months of sun? Is that
In
It's in June.
Oh, see, okay, thanks. Thank you for correcting me.
So it's Erev all the time.
Oh, it's Erev all the time. So they never stop observing whatever that first day is. It never ends. Yes,
I
Doctor.
think it's moot because there are no Chinese restaurants at the South Pole.
Oh, then what do you do?
Yeah.
You have to fly it in.
Yeah.
A barbecue of penguins.
It's like,
Okay.
whooshu penguins.
Beijing penguins.
It's like the people in like Siberia who fly in their kosher food. They have to fly in the Chinese food. Okay, so let's hear the Gemara. Let's get to the next layer. Okay? Who can read this for us? Tanu Rabbanan. You want to read it, John? Go for it, John.
Tanu Rabbanan. Our sages taught in an earlier saying, Amar Rebbe Szechuan, Rabbi Szechuan said, I was a man of 70 and had always consumed the Feast of Chopsticks before the end of the first watch on the 24th. Once, I fell asleep while watching The Sound of Music and slept through the entirety of the following day. When I awoke on the night of the 25th, my food was still warm. From that day on, I have followed the teaching of Beit Hillel.
What's the miracle of the festive meal of chopsticks? Okay, and can you read the next sentence too, please?
And, and until when does the festive meal satiate us? Amar Rav said, 1 hour. Amar Shmuel said, 1/2 an hour.
It's pretty good. Okay. So next, a very important question, what do you do with leftovers? So who can read this for us, please? Beth, you want to take it? Okay.
What do you do with leftovers? Tashma, come learn from this teaching. Amar Rav, Shimon HaKakam, Rav Simon the wise said, in the name of Rav Yaakov, the Tzaddik, righteous one, we keep them. Shein Amar, as it is written, Shamor, keep, Deuteronomy 5:11, Kitzad, how. It is preferable that one should use small cardboard containers with wire handles to contain the notar, remainder for feast, so as to prolong the mitzvah, sacred act, and the use of chopsticks, the tov, lahachmer, and the use of
Thank you. Who can read the next paragraph, which gets quite a little bit. The other guy, would you like to read? Sure. Thank you.
We got in there, and there are those who say, Tikra Shamor, Ella Samor. Don't read the verse as Shamor, but as Smor. Manaka, enough. What is the practical result of this reading the verse? Are we really expected to eat s'mores on the Feast of Chopsticks? No, rather, the creative reading of the verse comes to teach us that we shall eat dessert that is not in the same flavor as the meal, i.e., not in the same cuisine. Kadnashna yan, that is what he's teaching us. Why? Dain Mazel, Israel, because fortune telling does not pertain to the Jewish people. Tana, an early teaching, is ashur forbidden to eat uko, matz, nazel, cakes of fortune telling. No, mutar. It is permitted, but one does not sufficiently embellish the mitzvah, sacred act. Bikat demir, and those are those who say that one has not fulfilled the obligation unless one eats a dessert from another cuisine.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, go down to then a bat kol. Okay, heavenly voice. Liz, you want to take this?
Then a bat kol, a heavenly voice announced, Elu, Ve'elu, Ve'elu, Divrei Elohim, Kayim Hem, below meaning who. Both these and these, the ways of Beit Shammai, Beit Hillel, and Rav So are the words of the living God. And he, Rav So, is not a sectarian.
Keep going.
Though mean, he is not a sectarian. The Maharba in the West, they say domain. We say domain.
What? Oh, well, Lomin is Aramaic. And then, yeah, Lomin. Oh, okay. All right. And then finally, Mishnah 3, B'Shabbat, lo ochlim b'chopsticks. On the Sabbath, we don't eat with chopsticks. The Gemara, can this be so? Do we eat the feast on the Sabbath? Talmud Lomar, for this reason, Scripture comes to teach us, V'karata la Shabbat onen. If you call the Sabbath a delight, and there is no delight other than the Garden of Eden, like Eden Walk, and there are those who say China delight, or Peking delight, or Imperial delight, or Canton delight. My Taima, what is the reason for this rule about not using chopsticks on the Sabbath? Lezecher, as a reminder of the man who gathered sticks. What is that a reference to? Yes, right? There's in the Torah, there is a little incident of a man who's working on Shabbat. He's gathering sticks on Shabbat. And what are you supposed to do to him if you find him doing that?
Stone him.
You stone him. You're supposed to kill him, right? Because he's violating the prohibitions of Shabbat. So chopsticks are a reminder of that. And there are those who say, so that one will not be tempted to build a raft. But then some say it was Bruria, some say it was Bill, another well-regarded spouse of an esteemed sage who was able to keep up with the Chachamim, came and talked. We don't eat with chopsticks on Shabbat because the friction of two chopsticks rubbing together might start a fire, which is asur to oraita, forbidden by the Torah. And who shall prepare the festive meal? Anyone who is baki, expert in the preparation, no matter her country of origin. But the tavern may not have the word dragon in its name. Dragon is a zecher, a reminder of Leviathan, the Leviathan, which is not to be consumed except by Sukkot, the Yemot HaMashiach, on the festival of booths in the time of the Messiah. And by the way, at the bottom, finally, there is a reference to a hidden tractate, Masechet Cinema, which is in an obscure cave in Austin, Texas, about why we go and watch movies. December 24th and 25th. So, I hope you enjoy a little bit of the chocolate. And I hope you enjoyed, if you did engage in this mitzvah. Where'd y'all go?
And they cook out Brussels sprouts.
Oh, yum. Excellent. Good job.
What's the appropriate blessing?
Over come proud Brussels sprouts or any Chinese food?
Yeah.
Yeah, good question. Well, that's the right one. I don't know, sure. That'd be a fun thing to do with the kids, actually. Where'd you go? Did you go to the movies?
Yeah, I went to the movies.
What'd you see? Was it good? Did you cry? Yeah. I read the book. I didn't see the movie.
No, I haven't seen anything.
We saw the Frisco Kid.
The Frisco Kid?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
Classic. Very important. That actually, did you watch it at home or did you?
Yeah. No, watch it at home.
Nice. Well, thanks. Everybody else see any good movies?
Our Dr. Sal,
Jarvis. What was that one?
plays in church.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. The new Star Wars, was it wonderful? I've seen some really interesting commentary about that. Mixed commentary, yeah. Well, excellent. You are all such good Jews. Let's talk about some announcements. Thank you all for having a little fun with me tonight. Next Friday, our first Friday fun, which we've had each month for our first Friday Shabbat celebration every month. That starts at 7 p.m. At 7:30 p.m. is our first Friday Erev Shabbat service. I will not be here next Friday because I get to spend the weekend in Washington, D.C. with some of our high schoolers, doing something called a Litakain weekend, a social justice seminar in D.C. And we get to learn about some current events, what the Reformed Jewish platforms and feelings about them are, and then each kid kind of develops what they care most about. They make a presentation or they create a presentation, and on Monday we're going to the Hill to lobby our legislators. It's going to be really cool. They're going to be with kids from all over the country. We gather at the Religious Action Center of Reform Judaism in D.C., which is the Reform Movement's advocacy organization. Just wonderful. Any of you have kids who did it, or have you heard about it before? I've sent groups. This is the first time I've had a chance to go along, so I'm really very excited about it. Yes.
There's a lot to advocate for.
Yeah, there is. And it can be sometimes hard to choose if time is limited with the legislator. But they learn about the issues throughout much of the weekend. We get there Friday and Saturday and Sunday. They're learning more, including Israel. Israel's included as well. And then Sunday night, they put together their presentations with other students, and they'll go to our legislators. So we'll come back and report on it for you next time. Over the next 2 weeks, Thursday the 11th is the next session at noon of my Lunch and Learn session. We've been starting the book My Jewish Year by Abigail Pogreben, and we're reading a few chapters each time. If you are interested, I still have a couple copies of the book available. You, of course, can get it on Amazon, and come and join us for a discussion about observing the Jewish calendar and holidays throughout the year and what it means. How do we choose what our observances look like? And at 6 p.m. on January 11th is a Mavens meeting, at Chloe Davis's house. You can reach out to Chloe, and I can give you her email if you're interested in joining with all of those women of CBSRZ. Then on Friday the 12th at 7:30, we have our next Erev Shabbat service, the following Erev Shabbat service. And then on January 13th, I hope you have a chance to mark your calendars. We have a really neat day planned for you. Starting at 10:30 a.m. is our second Saturday Shabbat morning service, where we're going to have a civil rights theme throughout the service because it is Martin Luther King Jr. weekend. We're going to have a small luncheon followed by a screening of a film about a rabbi, and I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly, Joachim Prince, who worked side by side, bless you, with Martin Luther King Jr., who spoke right before the I Have a Dream speech, and was a confidant and a dear friend, another faith leader who worked very closely with Dr. King. And we're going to be watching a short film as well as having some local historians, and I'm forgetting their names right now too, who will be speaking about the Connecticut area and what they understand about what happened during the Civil Rights era. So it's really neat. Take a look at your weekly email for more information. It is open to everybody, and we'd love to have you then.
There are several websites, including one that I think is biographical about Rabbi Prince, that have the entire speech. It's not very long. If it weren't for the fact that it was followed by one of the great speeches of all time, people would say, this was a really great speech.
Yeah.
So
he deserves more accolades and for him to be better known. You're absolutely right. So it's a neat film, and I hope you will be able to join us for that day. And music and more tickets are available if you have interest in joining us. The first one, of course, is the More Music and More. It's our comedy night coming up at the end of January.
Do we have the program Wednesday, right? The Egypt.
I am confused because there was an email that said it was not happening, and it's because I was away. And then there was an email that it was happening, so I'm not sure which order those emails happened. There is a program on the Jews of Egypt, an audio visual presentation. Keep an eye out of if it's happening or not.
I think it's supposed to be
Wednesday the 3rd, yeah. But there were emails going around that maybe it was canceled. Unfortunately, I think she had to leave home. She had to go out of town. So yeah, it looked like a really neat program, but I'm not sure if it's happening. So thank you. Any other announcements? Okay, then let's turn together to page 586. Please rise.
Adam
The light of life is a finite flame. Like the Shabbat candles, life is kindled, it burns, it glows. It is radiant with warmth and beauty, but soon it fades. Its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see, in light we are seen. The flames dance, and our life burns down in gutters. There is an end to the flames. We see no more and are no more seen. Yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory slowly fading into the darkness. With our lives we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and life. Page 598. In just a moment, if you hear the name of a family member or friend on our Shiva Shloshim or Yortzeit lists, and if you're comfortable doing so, you're invited to rise when you hear his or her name, and then to remain standing until we all join you for the recitation of the Mourner's Kaddish. This Shabbat, we mark the recent passing of Gertrude Zemmel, mother of Bob Zemmel. We also are mourning the recent loss of Joel Pear and Seymour Tim Kraszewski. We mark the Yortzeits, the anniversaries of death for Eleanor Adler, Lawrence Joel Adler, Abraham Altman, Rosalind Berwick, Bella Breslow, Leroy Averill Cohen, Max Gutman, Rita Rogers, Jacob Ronner, Esther Schaefer, Eliezer Schindler, Sally Schindler, Arthur Scher, Reverend Robert Troutman, Kim Turner, and Irving Ziprin. Who else are you remembering tonight and would like to share a name out loud?
Isaac Rosenberg.
May all of their memories always be a blessing to those who knew and loved them. Together now we all rise, and we join in the words of the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma yivarach lirtei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayei chon v'yomei chon v'chayei kol Beit Yisrael, v'agalah v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah v'barach le'olam l'alnei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei kudshah brichu, la'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, da'amiran v'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shuam rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom v'yamav, u'ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen. Our closing song is on page 625. This is a version of Adon Olam, which may be familiar to some of you. I hope it is. We're going to do the first few verses.
Adon Olam, Asher malach v'terem kol, Yetzir nivra v'ein hasa v'chetzo kol, Adai I was just going back to the end. Okay, you want to do
Shabbat shalom and happy 19.
Yes. Well, you're studying with Rabbi, he's really paying off.
Congratulate my wife.
Oh, May 1st.
Yeah.
It's a more common name than you think all of a sudden.
It is.
What was the number? What was the number?
17.
It was like 17.
Top 100 names this past
Really?
year. I was like, okay.
Go.
Yeah.
They do, yeah, yeah.
It's really.
Where did you go? Where did you go?